Our next speaker is an entrepreneur, perhaps a serial entrepreneur, born to be an entrepreneur. He's certainly a great conversationalist, as I found out last night in the bar. So please give a warm welcome to Christophe Bourbier, who's chairman and co-founder of Limonetik. Christophe.
Thank you. So I'm Christophe Bourbier, I'm the founder of Limonetik, and I'm going to talk about marketplace. Thanks for your super introduction to the subject, Anna. That was a super presentation. I'm going to explain why marketplace, we believe, is the future of e-commerce and what it takes for acquirers and gateway to offer marketplace solution to their merchant. So Limonetik, what we are, in a nutshell, a few words. Limonetik, we are a gateway, and we help retailers, international retailers, to accept payment, and for marketplace to send those payments to the vendors, as we saw in Anna's presentation. It is complex for international retailers, we know that, because when you want to sell on an international level, globally, as a retailer, you have hundreds of acquirers, local bank acquirers in the world, and you have also hundreds of alternative payments, WeChat, Alipay, you name them, all around the world, okay? And so for a merchant and for a marketplace, selling abroad, doing cross-border transaction is a mess. Limonetik, we offer API that gives access to the merchant to all those alternative payments and that are compatible with marketplace setup. Actually, we are a white label solution, so our clients are mainly the PSP gateways and acquirers to whom we push our API. And thanks to that, those PSP and acquirers can give access to all the payment methods that you saw, all the bank cards acquirers that you saw, to their own merchant. And sometimes, when it's a complex or very international setup, we can have a direct connection with the marketplace and the merchant. We have 60 countries covered with all our payment methods. We handle and manage 100 currencies. We can send money in more than 80 different countries in the world. And we have a very, very good traction for the last 3 years. Let's talk about marketplace. Why did I say that I believe that marketplace are the future of e-commerce? Let's see the figures. You can see on the right that in 2018, marketplace were almost 1/3 of the transactions that were done online and on mobile, okay? And this proportion of transactions done through marketplace is going to grow bigger and faster than what's going on with the online payments, okay? So marketplace is a big part of online payments, and it's going to be bigger and bigger. The trends are impressive. What are we talking about when we talk about marketplace? Again, Anna described it very precisely, but I would like to make some distinction in between marketplace because it's not always very easy to understand. Marketplace started with the P2P players, you know, like eBay or even Price Minister, Rakuten, those merchants that enable individuals like you and I to sell your own used product. Those were the first marketplace. Then after, you have, of course, Amazon. We all know Amazon. Amazon realized that it was a very good idea not to sell only their own product, but to improve their portfolio of products with some product that could be sold, stored, sent by third-party vendors. And today, when you go and want to buy a product, you don't go and search the product on Google. You go directly to Amazon because you are sure that you are going to find the good product on Amazon. No doubt. And maybe 80% of the Amazon products are not sold by Amazon itself. I'm not sure of the figures, but they are sold by third party. It's an amazing leverage solution. Then after, you have the pure player, Giga Economy being part of them, like Airbnb. Airbnb, they sell and rent rooms that do not belong to them. They sell rooms that belongs to you and me. And Uber, they sell taxi drives that are done by taxi drivers that are not their own employee. Then you have franchises. We don't think of marketplace when we think of franchises. And still, a franchise is a kind of marketplace. If you go to buy a McDonald's sandwich on the McDonald's application, you are not going to get this sandwich from the application. You are going to go and get the sandwich in a restaurant that is most of the time independent. So in terms of the flow of payment, you are not going to send the money to the application. The money has to be sent to the local restaurant where you are going to get the sandwich. Same for Accor. When you buy or rent a room at Accor, the money has to go to the local hotel that is an independent hotel. Franchises and most of the click and collect type of setup is a kind of marketplace behind. Okay? And last but not least, you have many B2B corporate company. We have a few names around that start corporate company that used to sell product to professionals, complex industrial product, big value. And those corporate companies, they start to sell their product online because they want to digitalize. Great. When they go online, most of the time, they want to sell their product with some side services like delivery, like consulting to help the buyer to implement the solution, like spare parts, and so on. And so most of those B2B players, when they go online, they decide to go online with marketplace features and solution. Okay? So marketplace is something that is completely booming. Again, we believe when you see the figures and the typology, the different typology of marketplace, that this is really a future of at least online economy and cross-channel economy as we saw with the click and collect setup. Okay, and so, great, but it's kind of complex. But the future, but at the same time, is complex to do a marketplace for gateways and acquirers that have been used to manage the flow, as again Anna described it. It's complex to get into the marketplace type of setup, and I'm going to describe why. Because as Anna said, when you are a marketplace, you don't sell product that belongs to you or services, so you are not entitled, you don't have the right to collect the funds. You need to be a payment institution if you want to collect the funds on behalf of the vendors. Okay? So you need to collect the funds, and then you need to send those funds to the vendors, and you need to take out the commissions that you want to keep for the marketplace, of course, but still you need to be a payment institution. Then you have to respect some Visa and MasterCard regulation. Visa and MasterCard, they want to know who sells what. And Visa and MasterCard, they have this MID or MCC, a code for every merchant, but for a marketplace it can be tricky because Visa, MasterCard might request you to send the MID of the marketplace, but also the MID of the sub-vendors. Okay, and most of the time a buyer, when he buys on a marketplace, he buys 1, 2, or 3 different products at once. Okay, so one transaction, 1, 2, 3 different sub-MID to manage. Then, marketplaces are complex as well because you cannot onboard any type of vendors. Okay? Vendors, you need to do, and marketplace, I've got hundreds most of the time and hundreds of vendors. But when you onboard vendors, you need to do that very quickly. Otherwise, again, if you want to avoid attrition of vendors, you want to onboard vendors quickly, 24 hours, 48 hours maximum. You want to do you want to underwrite them to make sure that you are not dealing with some risky vendors. And you have to do the KYC as well, because you don't want to send money to people you don't know and you want to avoid money laundering. Okay, so you need to do some quick and efficient KYC for all the vendors of the marketplace, and then when it's done, then you can indeed send the money to the different vendors and do the payout accordingly. And then, last but not least, marketplace, some of them, the pure player and the giga economy marketplace, they are fine. I mean, they build their marketplace from scratch. But when you are a merchant, a retailer, like, I don't know, the one that we saw before, like Fnac, okay? When you want to launch your marketplace, you need to have some ERP marketplace dedicated solution that will help you to manage some product that do not belong to you or that will manage the delivery of those products, that do not belong to you, and so on. And so most of the retailers, when they want to start their marketplace, they will leverage on some solution like Miracle, Wizaplace, Uppler, Iceberg, you can name them. There are many of them on the market. And those solutions will give you the details on how the split of payment has to be done in between vendors. Okay? So the green line, the green arrow, and the fees that the marketplace is going to keep will be determined by this type of solution. So as a gateway or acquirer, if you want to offer a proper marketplace solution, you need definitely to be connected to this type of solution as well. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay. For the giga economy or even for the pure player, it's a bit different. They know how to call you with their API and explain to you how you do the split of payment in between vendors. It's a bit different. Okay? So many different topics that you have to take into account to offer proper marketplace API. And just to end up, of course, at Limonetik, we work for gateways and acquirers that wants to go in the marketplace world, I would say. And so we work as a white label solution for gateway, for acquirers, that are very easy to implement. There is no impact on the PSP roadmap, IT roadmap, or the acquire roadmap to do so. It's very convenient. And it integrates every component that are mandatory to do a marketplace, including global payout everywhere, a payment institution license, and of course the KYC, the quick and easy KYC anti-money laundering check. We are already connected to the different marketplace ERP that I've mentioned. There are many other ones, so you don't have to do it again. And it's very flexible, and it's very ready to use quickly. So to sum up, again, the two ideas that you have to keep in mind is marketplace. We really, really believe that marketplace is the future of e-commerce, and again, the future even of cross-channel payment first. And that marketplace might seem a bit complex because there are many things to handle that are part of the marketplace, and that we can very easily do for you as a white label solution. Thank you.